And I always believe that an action has a reaction. So a lot of people stay in their lane if they know they're doing things correctly.
So do you think society encourages people to abandon their principles for the sake of success?
It's respecting someone's space, and it's also respecting their morals.
Facts,
baby.
Shout out to Nike, not stealing.
Not Nike, not stealing no knife, but just do it. Pressure makes you think that way. So when I at that time I was doing that, I was still depressed.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Insider Threat. I'm your host, Gravy. Today's episode is entitled It's the Principle. And we're digging into the power of standing by your values, even when it's hard. So we all face moments where doing what's right, according to our principles, feels like the most difficult thing to do, especially when the world around us is pushing us to do something different. I've got LaVaughn Graves here today with us. How you doing, LaVaughn?
I'm doing good. Nice to meet you.
Can you give the people a little bit of backstory about you?
Yes, I'm a single mother of 6. I live in Bryan County. Graduated from Alfred High Beach High School. And it's my pleasure to be here today.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay, you guys, we're about to have an exciting conversation about what it means to stick to your principles. First of all, we're going to start with our icebreaker. We like to we call it say so it's a choice. So you get to pick one. A joke, a quote, or your biggest fear.
My biggest fear.
Okay, what is it?
Not being here to see all of my family together in one place.
Now, when you say all of my family, you mean like your immediate family or your extended family?
Don't get me wrong. My immediate family, they're everything to me. Mm-hmm. We're together every day anyway. But it's just my family. Okay. It's my whole family.
Okay. Now, I must ask you this because I feel like it'll tie into the topic a little bit. I must ask you this, okay? How many siblings do you have? Because you said you want to be here to see all your family.
All my family. Like
how many siblings?
Nieces, just all of us in one place, just like having a good old time, just celebrating everything. Yeah. Maybe a little rodeo.
Okay. So how many siblings do you actually have?
Well, it's 17 of us. 2 is deceased. Okay. And, but that's how I grew up, with 17 in the family. So that was a large family for me. And so I am with the largeness. Yeah. I like large gathering, coming together. That's just me. That's just how I live my life.
With 17 people,
yes,
growing up in one house, I think it definitely will tie into today's title.
Oh, yes. Yes.
It's the principle. I know that word was probably thrown around a lot in the household, growing up with that many siblings.
Yeah.
So let's dig into it. I'm excited about the conversation. First of all, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for agreeing to do the podcast. And we're going to get started. We're going to have some fun.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. All right. So our episodes are broken out into 6 segments. So we just did the intro, which is our icebreaker. It's the say which we'll introduce the episode. We introduce you as the guest host, and then we move into the next segment, which is known as the internet. Oh, okay. As we know, on the tech side, the internet is those external factors that we experience every day. It's the external network. It's not necessarily connected to us. However, it does have an effect on us.
Oh, yes.
Right. So today's internet topic, the focus of the internet segment today would be societal expectations, peer pressure, and how the world often pushes us to compromise values to fit in or succeed. So the very first question I have for you is, how does external pressures, i.e. social norms, family expectations, career goals, influence the way we make decisions or the way you make decisions?
I've always considered myself an individual.
Okay.
So I sometimes think I don't need a village to direct me, but it has.
Yeah.
And sometimes in the norms that you're growing up, when you're growing up in that norm, you are going to tend to go that route.
Right.
Because it's a lot of force behind that decision. You can't do this, you can't do that. Maybe, you do it like this will happen. And having your own mind, you would think you're like, well, they experienced that. They went through that too. So they might be giving me good advice. So we also got to be worried about the advice that is given when you're in that big city.
So you said that in the past, expectations of others have influenced your decisions. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Or I guess give us an example.
I think a lot of my decisions as an individual coming from a big family like that and the other people, I didn't have the internet growing up. So I'm more not advanced as the younger generation is today. But in that, we still had the telephone, we still had peer pressure, which was friends you grew up with, school classmates you had in your life, or your family members. But also coming from a single household,
right?
These influences really, I gathered that from my mother more so because she's already living the experiences. So what I've been taught and how I lived my life, I think I address it in that mannerism, respecting others, respecting, I think it's just more values that I take from all of that influencing on an external basis and just try to live my life by. So I'm more of a let live type person. Live and let live. If my soul is telling me that influence is not of a good nature for me, I'm not going to do it. It's just something I don't know, and that's just naturally about me.
Got you.
So I really dance to my own beat, if you could say.
Yeah.
But I do have influences in my life that I think is very positive. My kids. Because they're doing something way more than what I've ever done or achieved. So, and that's, I think, coming from a single family household of that nature, that size, I think you live more to strive for that.
Right.
To push your kids to be better and to do better. So I think that's where it comes from. My influences come from my mama's strength.
Right.
And just the way she did things and the way she flowed. And how she handled things. So, and I think that's what a lot of my influences come from.
Gotcha. So would you say that some of your external factors are the fact that, is the fact that you grew up in a 17 head household as far as the kids, or 18 counting the mother, to, I guess, how that affected your parenting style, as far as like what you want, like the vision that you had for your kids, or where you exactly you wanted to drive them?
Well, we basically ran the same roads, because my mom struggled, I struggled, and I think more so of me, I was just more determined to change something. I accepted the fact that my mom was where she at in life. She chose, I think that was her choosing. I can't speak for her. Miss your recipes. But that was her choosing. And what I took from that was her strong points.
Right.
So the negativity that she wasn't there, wasn't there always, that to me, just signified that she had to survive. We had to survive. She had to provide. So my influence came from that. I had to provide.
Right.
I did not see anything else other than I had to survive and take care of what I brought into the world. So that's a lot of I think that's where a lot of my external factors come from. I cannot address anyone else. But mine came from my mom, seeing my mom struggle to make ends meet, feed us, keep us going. So at that point, I think some of mine came, or some of that rubbed off on me.
Gotcha.
It was about making that way. Still, I saw my mama having a life. Still, I saw my mama, in relationships.
Right.
So to me, most people who's wealthy wouldn't see that in, it's a struggle, but where she were.
Gotcha.
I think she achieved the same goal as someone that was in a better place or whatever, because she taught us morals. She taught us respect yourself.
Right.
These are some of the external factors right now. I think the internet is teaching our young kids.
Right.
So I think what I took from that, it was just an experience of how to provide.
Okay. So have you ever been in a situation where your principles were tested by external factors?
I think in a single family household, it's going to be many days that it's going to be tested.
Okay.
Because you're going to have to make decisions that you normally wouldn't make just to make ends meet, or as you could say, not totally ends meet, but just to do. I don't think, far as physically, I made decisions based on my morals, because I wouldn't do it. That's just something in me. I can't address anyone else.
Right.
But in me, my morals stood on, if I had to tell a little white lie about getting some bills paid, or I can understand the extent, but everyone's morals going to get tested through life. So it's not going to be a factor if it's not going to be tested. It's going to be tested. Right. And you're going to make those indecisions. You're going to make it like, I shouldn't have done that, So that's the time you start questioning your own morals when you feel your morals coming up and being tested. And I think that's a time when you say, hey, this ain't right. Or you automatically know it ain't right. So, I mean, it plays a key into decisions when you're raising a family. I think it's more so even when you're single, because you set the precedence of what type of person you're going to be.
Right.
So your morals can be in question. They don't have to be in questions. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
So let's backtrack a little bit. Let's define your principles, or what drives you and how drives the decisions you make and how you live your life. Like, what are some of those principles, like key principles that you just like, I'm unwavering on these things. When these things are tested or tempted, I feel disrespected, or I feel like I need to remove myself from a situation. What are those key principles that you live your life by?
Those key factors is for me. Mm-hmm. And I think this is things I'm addressing, because I'm like I tell a lot of people say, well, I don't understand what's working on me. Working on me. Mm-hmm. That's just what that means. Right. It's just a quote, but takes it to heart. Mm-hmm. If you see the indifference in you and you don't want that done to you by someone else, then are you not going to work on it to make it better? Mm-hmm. For your moral standard to change or to get a little higher. So my moral standard, I don't try to insinuate myself into situations where I'm not wanted. Mm-hmm. So, and I don't like to be mistreated or untreated fairly. Because if I'm doing you fairly, then I expect a return.
Gotcha. So
I'm not gonna, my thing about living is live and let live. Mm-hmm. I'm not, my mind or me, we are not going to be in your area of space. Mm-hmm. That's something you do. If you want to share, you share. You don't, you don't. I think I'm more so of my experience has led me to be nonchalant. Okay. So, I mean, if someone is succeeding, I'm happy. Mm-hmm. If somebody get their own thing, I also don't stay inside the box. So I have a problem. If you're wrong, you're wrong. I believe in speaking up. I don't like holding my tongue, as they could say. I don't think it's wrong, but if you're addressing it to me, then why can I not respond? Right. Because everything's got a question and an answer. So, and I always believe that an action has a reaction. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people stay in their lane if they know they're doing things correctly. Mm-hmm. You don't have these persons where you're going to come back with a reaction without even an action. Right. So some people just do a reaction.
So do you think society encourages people to abandon their principles for the sake of success?
Oh, yes. Yes. I think in today's society is happening right now. Mm-hmm. Right now. Because we're not addressing the wrong. We're getting on board. Mm-hmm. We're not addressing it. And I think that's where you lose all your morals. Because if you sincerely have morals, then this will not be a decision to make. Mm-hmm. It's wrong. That's the only decision you can come up with if you are morally wrong. Mm-hmm. So I think with that, it's tested on a daily.
For sure.
It's tested on, even if you're saved, take by foot with the Holy Ghost. You're tested on a daily. And you have to, if you're serving in that manner of God, in the walk of God, that's a given. Mm-hmm. That's a given.
So would you say that your conscience is the basis of most people's principles? Well, I would speak for you. Would you say for you, your conscience is the basis of the principles that you live your life by? More so, like, I know you have the moral clause, like left or right. Do I go left or right?
We also have to realize that could be morally, mm-hmm. and your standards of living. That, to me, that's in the same. They're playing the same key. Mm-hmm. I mean, the definition might be similar. It might be similar in the definition, but those two things is still going to define what type of person you are, mm-hmm. or what kind of human being you want to be in life. Even as a child, still in that into them, you still going to want to understand the factor or what you're teaching your child. Yeah. So that, like my mom, with my family and my mom, we was always taught to tell the truth. It wasn't no couldn't kill you, or mm-hmm. These are something I grew up. These are sayings I said to my kids. So it's like the same thing. It's respecting someone's space, and it's also respecting their morals. Mm-hmm. If they don't live their life like you don't expect them to live it like you. But you also got to have a strength behind the decision you make when you make the decision to do right, morally right. Because if your heart speaks first, then you're doing something wrong.
Right. So it sounds like one of your key principles that you live your life by is justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute. I mean,
like
and that's a good word to describe it.
Yeah.
It is about right. I don't care how you choose to live your life because that is the decision between you and God himself alone. So I try to do what's right by people. And I think that's where my anger comes in when people are not doing right by me. So I can't, like I tell a lot of people, I can't describe on how my feelings are, but in a sense, in a tone, these are things how I grew up. The injustice part of somebody being mistreated, that irritates me, whether I know you or not. Right. That still is going to irritate me. I still might defend you standing up there and someone doing you wrong. Then you really know that your morals, that had been instilled in you, and that honestly, you've been born with that. Because I think the heart tells it all. So at the end of the day, it's a choice that you got to make to do the right thing. And like anything, you're not forced to do it, but it's a choice that you got to do.
Okay, so moving into the next segment of the podcast, this segment is called buffering. So it's the point at which before the information is fully that we've experienced from the outside world has fully settled, and it's that kind of like pause where our mind is kind of trying to make sense of it. Right. So what we're going to be focusing on in this episode is the internal conflict that arises when principles are challenged by reality, when doing the right thing feels impossible due to outside pressures. Right. So the first question would be, what does it feel like when your principles conflict with what's expected of you?
Well, they shouldn't, but sometimes it does. And so when you have to make that decision, you got to think with yourself, is it going to be a negative reaction or a positive reaction when you make that decision? Because if I got to pay a bill and I ain't got the money to pay it, I'm going to have to not pay the bill because this don't came up. Right. So, I mean, it plays a lot of key, but if you're on track, you wouldn't be making these decisions. So right there, it indicates that you're off track somewhere in your life, that you have to make these decisions like that to, how you say, be accepted by the or outside world. And it shouldn't even be a factor in that manner of living that you got to, I want to say, supply the outside world with what they're looking for you to do. So it's just addressing what's right in you, you know, to establish a foundation of something that you can go forward and continue doing in a positive manner. Right. So basically it's hard, and it's not, I'm not going to sit up here and say it's not hard when you got to make the decision, especially in a single family household. Maybe you wouldn't make the same decision with the father and the mother in the home, but a single family household, you're going to have to do a lot of immoral things to even make ends meet. So that's why I don't judge people. That's why I say let people live and let live. Right. But at some point in your life, these judgments going to have to come to an end, because it also can affect your children's life when you start doing it. So at the end of the day, we never was rich, but you know, I think I produced kids that want to do something different other than how I grew up. Right. I always wanted something different. So I think I was more so the first one to break the cycle of, you know, not having someone go to college, not someone going, you know. So it was broken in that mannerism when I made the decision to say, I'm tired of this. You know, this don't make sense. Right. So, I mean, even in your jest, God is going to reward you. So be just in your dealings with everybody on a daily basis, and you get rewarded, not by man, but by God. So
for sure. And definitely just addressing those challenging times whenever we face those crossroads where it kind of conflicts with our morals to do the right thing. And then oftentimes we kind of deviate. So we also have to give each other grace and give ourselves grace, but also acknowledge the fact that we did wrong, repent, and so that you can move forward. And I think
that's more so of it, moving forward. You got to realize that you're doing it. Because I think you're so comfortable in that setting, what you're doing, and you're not realizing what you're doing. Like it's the norm for you. So that would be the norm. So if I sit down and I do something that's not the norm, I'm like, well, you know, somebody just done me like that. And then even somebody come back and tell me, I might get a little, what them know what they're talking about. But then I have to sit, well, like, darn, they might be right. You know, you still got to second guess yourself. And I don't think no one's going to be perfect in that mannerism. So when if you could second guess yourself about what you done or did, then you're on a good track.
Right.
Because you got to be the one to realize that. No one can say, oh, they cannot keep telling you done it. So it's a fact that you got to like understand where you at in life to accept what you do wrong and make an improvement of it.
Right.
So basically that's how my feelings are on it.
Gotcha. So how would you navigate a situation where doing the right thing feels harder than doing what's easiest?
Just do it. Facts, baby.
Shout out to Nike. We're not stealing.
Not Nike, not stealing no knife, but just do it.
I feel the same way because I can recall a time, I tell everybody the basis of the podcast is truth, right? And I don't remember if you remember when I was younger and we actually got pulled over by the police officer and you ended up speeding. I think you're doing like 55 and a 35 or 40 or something like that.
Probably going to school. Was it
yeah,
going to school?
I think you were. Well, we were going somewhere.
Had to go to work, probably.
If you guys haven't caught on by now, this is my mother. But we were on the way to some location. I don't remember, but I remember we were driving and we got pulled over and the officer
I probably
said,
told him a lie.
Yeah, the officer, you definitely did.
The officer
said, ma'am, do you know that you were going 55 and I think it was like 45 or 35? And she was like, no, I don't think I was. Y'all, I was in the front seat. I was like, you were definitely going 55.
And I think I rolled my eyes.
You like, girl.
Like, I said, you trying to get me
to jail. Like, so it's like in that situation, a lot of people would have felt the pressure like, oh, I can't tell my mama. But it's just
even
like,
with that factor,
yeah,
I still took in the quote, even I got mad with you at that moment because I really had to get to work. But even I got mad with you at that moment, I had to laugh about it because I'm like, well, I taught him not to tell a lie.
Right.
So I was like, I couldn't remember. I said, at this point, you should have said, yeah. I'm like, so I'm looking for, but I think that was like how they address them, a little white lie.
Right.
But I can understand me saying, I didn't kill nobody. You know, that I'm thinking of this, I'm not going to allow my kids even in that factor. If my son did something he ain't had no business doing, I'm going to convince him to turn himself in because I just don't like my son where he's at right now. I tell anybody, I love him to death. And, that's unconditional. I accept him as he is. But even in accepting him as is, I don't accept him in his wrong. So at the end of the day, he know what type of mother he has. I'm not going to accept you in your wrong. I'm not going to do for you when you're doing wrong. So if I taught you to do right, even if it ain't that hard to do something right. It's not that hard to do something right. When you just base everything on a lie or in the window, you're not going to achieve anything. It's not going to get anywhere. And it's all going to call back. You might get away with it a couple of years. You might look good. You might be shining in a couple of years, but it all falls down. So at the end of the day, your choices is what you make of it. I mean, I can understand that day with us, but because it really made me laugh.
Right.
Later, I really laughed about it because I'm like, what? I said, this girl going to send me to jail. I don't know why she want to send me.
But yeah, that's for the earliest I can remember. I think honesty has always been one of my biggest principles that I live by.
Well, honesty has always been my principle, but even talking, I mean, even this situation aroused where I know I have found myself in some, I just tell. I'm not going to hold nothing in. If you're doing something and this goes back to a lot of things. It just goes back to a lot of things in life, especially as young girls, young boys. Don't be afraid to tell.
Right.
I mean, that's where it starts. It really starts there. Yeah. It really starts with you advocating for yourself.
Because you have to be bold enough at any age. But it's hard, of course, because that's part of those. You're a child,
you're scared.
Yeah, and that's part of those external factors, those the expectations of that your parents or your peers, your cousins, your family puts on you to be like, oh, we don't need to tell this. We need to, it's about privacy. Keep what's in the home. And certain things I understand, but for certain, you don't use that as a,
well, that's what I'm saying.
As a threat to a child
when
they're trying to look for help.
But also when you're looking for help, that's the thing with parents. I wasn't a parent, but I was told that you don't have to be scared to tell me nothing.
Right.
So I took that literally to heart. That's why you say, well, why you tell everything? 'Cause I'm going to give you fair warning on everything. Who. That's right. I'm saying who, what he was up there for. What are you talking to me for? I mean, let's be on our P's and Q's when we got children where we know what we went through.
Right.
So I know I went through it. Even like that's why we always sat to the table to eat. I cooked 24/7. It wasn't like we didn't have family moments where you could say, Mom, you know, such and such.
Right.
So I didn't give you an environment like a hostile environment where you couldn't say what I needed to do. Y'all drunk out of wine glass. We ain't never had no wine, but I'm just saying.
She's obsessed.
Yeah. And so like, just giving you a taste of life.
She made me do this, y'all.
Yeah, I did. And I just give you a taste of life because everything ain't black or white. You know what I'm saying? There's a little grays in there. There's a little reds in there. Have some fun with your life, but it don't matter where you at that you can experience a good life. And that's why I always say, make it so where the child can come and tell you. They have no questions in telling you. But like I said, even with single parents, you have that issue. So those are things that will always be tested if you don't start with you.
Right.
If you don't start with you, you will always be tested.
How can you overcome the pressure to compromise your values?
Don't compromise them.
You don't compromise. That's for sure. But and it's easier said than done. And it does have it's a muscle that needs to be exercised. Yeah,
it's true that, but like what I'm saying, you're talking to me. I can't answer for someone else. For me, I have never deviated from my morals. Because if I liked someone, you know, I don't care if he was broke, he didn't have money. It was still I liked him. I didn't need him to have supply of money to me. If he couldn't supply every other aspect that's in a relationship, money will come. So I'm saying you live your life. A lot of us now today, there's just a lot of base stuff on what they can do for me.
Right.
It ain't no love. And God said love should carry you through. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm looking like break my morals just to settle for something.
Right.
And that's even in your life with choices.
That's good.
To settle. You'll settle for a job just because you're making a little bit of good money. It could be better money because if you don't push yourself to go get some education or college, you can get more money. So you limit yourself just accepting that you got a good job. Yeah. And that's a good thing for you to do. But if you limit yourself to achieve better, then it's not no one's fault but yourself. Because there's no one stopping you from getting what you got to get, good credit. Nobody's stopping that but you. You make those choices. I said, I'm at a point in my life where I got to struggle now at 58 to do this. So at this point, y'all set an example for your mom. And I have no issues with that because I'm proud of that because now y'all teaching me a little bit more value. But even in raising a single family, these are the things, as you say, more. I'm not ashamed that y'all making life better. Right. I'm not ashamed because I did something right. You're out there to do it. So I'm like I tell a lot of people, you gotta be mindful and accept things as theirs. And I'm a firm believer in your glory is your glory. My glory is mine. So when they say, oh, when I get angry with you and I don't talk to you for a couple of days, I'm angry. So I have to cool off and I'll come back and talk to you. But I said, don't stop, but I can't address the issues that you might have in hand if you don't want to address them yourself. I'm just your mom. Right. So I'm not God. I can't. Right. If you don't go to him and talk, this will never be resolved. But I'm not going to stop living in that respect because I can't change what you're feeling because you're going to have to address that yourself. Just like I've addressed every issue in my life that I felt, you know, that wasn't good. Right. Really. That's the word I'm looking for.
I like that. You said, if you compromise your values, you'll tend to settle. Yeah. I like that a lot. Yeah. I like that. I also want to just highlight and a little short appreciation for you because it probably was a little hard, but the way that you and I, and then of course my older sister Nini, the way that we've all has been able to grow our relationship from the perspective of respect, mutual respect as adults, but also still that motherly respect. But we're because we have that posture right now, we're in a space where we can talk about a lot more things and as a way to express our morals and values, like what we do need, what we don't need, what we do like and what we don't like. So what is some advice that you would kind of give parents that's kind of navigating that space with their older kids, but still trying to maintain that grip that they had on in the household, like when they were raising it? And I'm pretty sure can I say that it was a little bit hard to kind of relinquish just that control over your kid as far as like when you're raising them, to allow them the space to be an adult and have an opinion and, you know, express themselves?
I'm a firm believer. I've been raised, and I'm a firm believer in what the Bible says. Spare the rod, spoil the child. There's no, you at a point of 5 and 4 and 3. There's no. I've heard therapists say this, but at the end of the point of the day, you're left with your kids. I don't care what a therapist tell you. In raising your kids,
any therapist.
Oh, no shade to you. But at the same thing, you think about somebody raising a child. It's already, like you said, external factors from judges, from this and that. A child, when a child learns that they have the upper hand on you, there's no more parenting. There's no more parenting. You can't discipline them. You can't do nothing anymore. So, are they not? Is the question are they not creating them? You say the parent is not doing, like doesn't say the behavior. If there's no repercussions to something that they're doing, and they know they can get out of it, or you can get in trouble for it, what is to say they're not creating the issues and the problems that we're having with raising kids today? I mean, the control factor is we no longer have control. You're telling me how I can raise my child in my household. You're telling me how to discipline my child in the household. Every child ain't going to be the same. And every child don't need discipline. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like you got to go there to harm or bodily harm your child. But there's something else, things as a discipline. And I believe in that.
I'm more so referring to just navigating the relationship between parent and child when the child's an adult. Even as an adult,
you don't break the factor of parenting. Once you say, the Bible says, spare the rod, spoil a child. Okay, you said habits. We got to define things with habits. If you do things constantly or more than once, this becomes a habit. So if you read every day, and so you read one book, you say, oh, I like a book, you can continue to read. So now it becomes a habit, but a good habit. Not saying it's bad. So if you take my authority all out away from the house, even though I'm trying to do that, am I controlling anything? Because at this point, it's not the factor to control them, but even in me raising my kids, you still know the line or the cutoff from mom to child.
Right.
Even if you're grown, I still get to the, you know, I'm at that point in my life where you have to understand I'm your mother.
Right.
You know, I'm not your classmate.
Right.
Or your roommate. You know, I could be your friend.
Right.
But I'm still your mother.
For sure.
So these are the boundaries you got to understand and let a child know. Even when you get grown and out here and decide to go chase the world, I'm still your mother. So respect, there's a form of respect still needed.
All right.
So if I allow my child to start young, dictating I'm not going to do that, then where do I have room telling him what to do as he get older? I don't think it comes to that point. And a lot of us, we just give up.
So you think it's based off of like a mutual respect? It's
just respect.
Gotcha.
I mean, at a young age, you don't have respect in my house.
Right.
Because I got to discipline you, I got to wash you, I got to feed you, I got to take you. A 3-year-old ain't gonna tell me what she's gonna do. No. Right. And I mean, and that's where it starts.
Right.
Because they push the boundaries. And I can give that to a therapist. They push the boundaries and they're gonna see how far they can get away. But every child needs that correction, or if not, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
When you got young people raising children, you're trying to compete with the child. Oh, she's young, I'm young.
Right.
She wearing this, I'm wearing this. But if you wear what you want, how you feel, but that's where it comes in respect. It's all about respect. If I respect you as a person, I give you those boundaries. We talk, we laugh, that's respect.
Right.
If I'm always making a suggestion or verbalizing you, so he's going to be angry.
Right.
You know, and my anger comes when I have to tell you more than once because I shouldn't have to. So now you didn't take it from the point of view where I was giving it to you respectfully.
Right.
So now I got to get intense with you and it shouldn't get to that point. So you know what I'm saying? But not to the point where you have to hurt your child. It's just the fact that they need to know.
Right.
And that needs to be established when they're little. A tone of voice. A child knows a tone of voice.
Right.
Yeah, you know how, if I like this, no. If I say, go sit down,
So the advice would be to start early.
Start early. Honey, let me tell you something, honey. Start early. I'm telling you. Y'all playing. They come here devils. They be born in the world devils.
Okay. So moving into the next segment, it's called Tap Intranet. It's a play on words because the intranet in the tech world is the internal network.
Yeah.
So when we say tap intranet and related to everyday life, we're saying tap inside, like tap in. Yeah. Right. So the focus of this topic would be, or focus of this segment would be the long-term emotional and psychological consequences of standing by or straying from your principles. The first question I have for you is, how does following your principles impact your senses of self and your mental peace?
I'm just confident.
Okay.
It has identified my confidence, and I never had let that go, and I won't let it go.
And I think it gives you a sense of understanding. And I always say I have to understand. Well, and as long as I'm sticking to my principles and I don't deviate, everything to me makes sense.
I understand that because I say that a lot. I always say, make it make sense, because I just can't go off of what someone tell me. Right. That's even why we going to the doctors or something. You guys should. Well, you ain't checking me to tell me that I got sugar. I mean, you ain't testing my blood. You did nothing, but you just say I got it.
Right.
So now it's a drug factor. Now I got to get. No, make it make sense to me. Then I do. I'm obedient. I'm not disobedient.
Right.
But it's got to make sense for me to make that move and to do that. It's got to make sense.
I definitely understand that. So what's the internal cost of compromising your values in favor of fitting in or gaining approval?
Depression.
Ooh.
That's it. That's where depression come in. When you stop subduing everything that you know is wrong, it builds up and you can't deal with it. So at the end of the day, I'm more so as why I think that's more so why I'm verbal. I can't see myself allowing me to get to that point.
And I definitely think it puts you in a space of
bondage and questioning.
Because it's like, I can't be myself here. I can't be myself there. I really don't want to do that, but I'm forcing myself to do this.
But think about it.
And it's just, I don't think it's...
Depression is a form of bondage.
Yeah.
It's a form of bondage. So at the end of the day, it's still bondage.
Right.
That is something you're subduing. Your subconscious, everything you're subduing because you're either trying to please someone or you're accepting things.
Right. That you don't necessarily want
and that accept. You don't agree with. You don't agree with it. You don't like it. You know you don't. And then you just agree with it because someone you might love deeply or somebody you might be with or want to be with, you accept it.
Right.
Yeah, like these people be saying ride or die chicks. I would never be a ride or die chick.
Can't afford it.
No, I would never be a ride or die chick. So don't
I will not.
No. That's just out of the way.
So can you recall a time when sticking to your principles had a profound impact on your life, either positive or negative?
Yeah, when I joined the military.
Ooh. So what principle would you say that curated?
Confidence.
Okay.
Confidence.
Okay.
It broke how we say generational curse.
Okay.
Because no one did it. Not in my family.
Okay.
So we got two sides, but during my father's side, that was military. It was military oriented. So I'm assuming that would have been in my makeup because it was something we all done on my father's side with his kids. They all went in the military and did the service. But I never had that inkling. But at the moment I decided to do that decision, that was one of my breaking points. I was like, I'm tired of this.
Right.
So, and that was an impact for me. And I just got a taste of what would the world be like without someone nipping in my ears or putting influences in my head. Just do it.
Right.
Just do it another way. Excuse me, Nike. But just do it. So, I mean, and I live by that little saying. And I'm a firm believer in live and let live. You can stay here and do this. I'm out. So basically that's how I live my life.
Okay.
So it was never... I don't think I ever had something that controlled me to the fact of not doing what I wanted to do.
Right.
I will find avenues. You get that a lot from your mama because I used to manipulate my mom doing it.
Well, I don't think I ever manipulated you. Ever.
You come a little bit.
Don't tell this loud with this platform.
I'm not telling no lie. I'm your mama. I'm your mama. I'm your mama. I'm like, yeah, look here. We did something. I manipulated my mom.
Yeah.
I wanted to play basketball. Our family was large. I would go to the coach. Yeah, I don't think I can play because I ain't got the money. My mom, and I would just do it, but that benefited me.
Yeah.
Just to see something other than what I was seeing.
Now, because that
was one of my more factors.
I won't drag it. What?
That was a part of my more.
I
think in a lot, I used it when I was growing up, but only to do sports or something like that. But I knew my mom didn't have the money. So it wasn't using the manipulation on my mom. I would use it on the people to get them to do for me so I can do it.
I mean, and now, you use manipulation to get what you want. So would you consider that a moral or principle of yours, or would you more so consider that
that was an inappropriate moral. Moral. It was just inappropriate. Even doing that, I just should have asked.
Okay.
And just took the fact that it would have been a yes or no.
Right.
And that's why I tell my kids, I used to.
Because you told us that all the time.
A yes or no ain't gonna kill you. Yeah. But it was something I really wanted to do. But I know my mom didn't have the means.
Now, when it came to the, I know you said the manipulation was an immoral
that wasn't something
principle of yours. All right. So was it hard for you to, because you had like pretty much founded it, like built that strength, and it was like kind of second nature? Was it hard for you to break that, or do you think you struggled?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think, because even after that, even in my manipulation, it still rewarded myself,
right?
Because I found out I was more so of a runner.
Okay.
Track and field. Okay. I'm more so into sports.
Right.
I really didn't realize I was into sports.
Right.
So my manipulation, when I done that, and by me doing so well, I never deviated. Okay. I still was allowed to do it.
Right.
I still was allowed to do it.
But I'm saying the skill itself. Do you think you deviated from that?
Oh yeah.
Or kind of.
I think I deviated. I think it was more so. It was wrong when I done it, and that's why I was saying back earlier.
Right.
The heart tells you that. It automatically says you're wrong. Mm-hmm. Even when I started telling it. You're wrong, but I wanted to do it. Right. And that's why I said our wants necessarily do not have to succeed our needs. My needs are more important. So if my mom needed me, my need was home.
Right.
But and even in that factor, that's why I tell
people. You was gonna manipulate.
But I was gonna run the track. I was gonna do the track.
I had to do what was necessary.
I liked the track. I like running because it was just. I think running for me was more of a clarity.
Right. Okay.
All the other stuff would just push away, and the running made me
just
focus on the running.
What exactly? I guess
this family life.
Okay.
This family life. I mean, everybody has it. It's no big deal. Like no family is gonna be perfect. That's just not an issue. Because we perfect. No, you're lying. So it's a factor of you lying. No family is gonna be perfect. But if a child has interest in something,
cultivate it.
Yeah. I mean, push it.
Right.
Cause you like,
now we're not advocating for manipulation. We know it's
no, it's not that.
We're not advocating for that or glorifying it at all.
I was young, a child.
She's just
saying
what she did as a child.
Yeah,
and I do want to highlight that.
That what pushed me, and even just like I said earlier, depression makes you think that way. So when I at that time I was doing that, I was still depressed because I had did it. And it's something I just asked. If you said no, I'll go on about my business. And that's how I do right now. I've always taught y'all that somebody tell you, no, go on about your business. Go ask somebody else and do something else. That's how I lived my life. After that music liberty, I had ran, and I had to prove myself because I did the manipulation.
Right.
So you better make it work for you since you done it.
Right.
Yeah, it was something form of a chastisement.
Gotcha.
So, and then my manipulation didn't turn it. I just asked. That's why I used don't do that. Because I shifted me when I did that. It shifted me to like, don't do that. Okay. That's still a form of, immoral things. Yeah. You didn't want to do that. You don't want to even start your life like that. I've always been an open person. So I don't like people like, oh, you just talk a lot. No, I tell truths.
Right.
Because you might get mad because I'm speaking truths at the time. You're trying to do something immoral. I'm sorry.
Right.
And then like I said, I'm good with someone, but I'm even better when I'm alone. Because that teaches you to deal with yourself.
Right.
So every time I think a lot of times you see people with people.
Okay.
They got to have someone in their life, and they got to have, you're really scared to deal with yourself. You're really scared to deal with yourself.
Sit in that silence.
Yes. And that's a factor.
It's hard, but it's definitely rewarding.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And I think you just got to you have to get the strength just to understand yourself and love yourself, period. Right. I don't, I love my flaws. I love it all. So it just is what it is. Mm-hmm. And that's just life for me.
All righty. We're moving into the next segment. This segment of the episode is called Take Control. Oh, yeah. So as a play on words and a play on functions on a keyboard, as far as it goes for the tech community, to teach you a little bit of tech.
Oh, please. Control you know your mama ain't there.
Control, it says CTRL is a key on the keyboard. And if you press that and also simultaneously press the letter A, it means Control A, or it pretty much Control all. So it allows you to highlight everything on the screen, right? Yeah. So the Control A, as it applies to the episode, is what were the most memorable takeaways or highlights from today's conversation?
Being open.
Okay.
Truly open.
Open to what?
Is, open. Okay. Normally, in some aspects of my life, I'm closed.
Okay.
A lot of people ain't gonna tell everything about me. I think that's the mystery to any person. Mm-hmm. And you defining a relationship or getting into a relationship, leave something to someone that to know.
Gotcha.
But your thing, I hope you take away from what I'm saying today, is that I'm a good person. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Even with all of my little flaws and imperfections, I'm still a good person. Okay. So and that's where I want to be addressed. That's just, I think that's just it.
Okay. So going into Control C, which Control C on a keyboard allows you to copy. So what quotes or insights will you carry with you from this conversation?
Just do it.
Just do it. Shout out to Nike.
Shout out to Nike. I'm sorry, but just do it. Just choose to live right. Choose to do right. Choose to be your best person.
And choose to stand
on all.
Your principles.
Your principles. Okay. Do not let no one deviate you from them principles. Mm-hmm. But make sure they're good principles. Very good principles. Make sure.
And the final one is Control V. Control V on a keyboard allows you to paste. So what will you be applying to your life moving forward?
This interview.
What is any particular part? Thank you.
All of it was joining us. All of it was very interesting, and it put you in a place of thinking. Mm-hmm. So I mean, and I think that's where the healing begins too. For sure. When you can start, when you start thinking, questions like this really gets people to open up and think. For sure. Because a lot of times we too busy with everyday life to think about little things like this here. So this podcast would be, if you come into this podcast, and I think that's the problem, just be open. Don't need to close in or choose the words wisely. Just keep your mind.
Let us know if you want to join. Hey, want to be a guest star?
Come on.
All right. So as a recap for today, guys, we talked about a lot, right? So we talked about how sticking to your principles can be a challenge in today's world, but it's also what gives us clarity and direction, right? So a couple reflective questions that I have for you are, what's one principle you're most proud of standing by?
My loyalty.
Ooh, I like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, 10 toes.
10 toes, baby, all day.
Ooh, she loyal
to a fault.
I mean, for her kids. Yeah,
for my kids.
Perks. Okay. So how can you maintain your integrity when the world around you doesn't?
Stand fast on 10. Oof. Stand fast on all 10s, baby. Don't let nobody deviate you from them principles, boy, because there where you lose yourself. Mm-hmm. There where you lose yourself. So that's just stand fast. Stand fast, baby. Gotcha. Military.
Yes. Hey. Yes. Okay. So where can the people find, follow, or connect with you online?
Hey, that's Graves, LaVaughn06@gmail.com.
And for any of you all in the Savannah metro area that is looking for a lemonade connoisseur, she makes her own lemonade. She has several flavors. So you can contact her at Graves, Graves, LaVaughn, LaVaughn 06@gmail.com for all your lemonade needs.
Hey.
Well, that's all for today. You all don't forget to like, comment, and share this episode with some of your peers. You can follow the podcast at Insider Threat TV on all platforms. You can follow me at I'm Gravy. That's with 3 Y's on Instagram. And on that note, I say protect your peace, audit your code, and as always, logging off for now. Your web tip of the day is coming up next.